Hey Olympians, welcome back for day 4 of the VBS Olympics. I'm Coach Missy and I hope that you are just having a blast with all of our Olympic events this week. All right, let's huddle up and get to the playbook so we can hear our story today. Our Olympic value is determination, and that's a really big word, but it's all about setting your mind to something and completing a task that you may not think you can do. And even if you fail, you keep trying again. You might fall down, but you get back up again. And so that leads us to our baptismal covenant. And the baptismal promise that we make is to persevere and resist evil. Now, persevering is very much like determination, where you just continue to keep trying. You may not get it right every time, but you're going to keep trying to get it right. And resisting is when you're pulled into doing something wrong, but you resist and you know that you can do the right thing and you choose not to do the wrong thing. And evil is another word for the wrong thing. And evil is also something that pulls us away from God. And that leads us into our story about Nehemiah. And Nehemiah is found in the book of Nehemiah in chapters 1 through 8. And that's found in the Old Testament part of the Bible. So I want you to guess who our special reader is today. And here's our story. Nehemiah. This story comes from the book of Nehemiah, which can be found in the Bible. You can find it in the Hebrew Scriptures or the Old Testament. This is Nehemiah. He is a Jewish man living in Persia. He is also the cupbearer to the king of Persia. One day, Nehemiah learns that the walls around the city of Jerusalem are falling down. Jerusalem is a very important place in the Jewish faith. It makes Nehemiah sad to know that a place he loves is not being cared for. He prays to God and asks what he can do. Over the next few days, the king notices that Nehemiah is very sad. He asks his cupbearer about what is bothering him. I am sad because the city of my ancestors has been destroyed. The walls are falling down and no one will repair them. Nehemiah tells the king, "If you send me, I will rebuild the walls around the city." The king agrees to let Nehemiah leave Persia to rebuild the walls. Not only does the king agree, he sends guards to go with him. He even gives Nehemiah a supply of wood to build new gates. Nehemiah arrives in Jerusalem. When the leaders of the city learn that Nehemiah wants to build the wall, they visit him. They do not want him to do this. The leaders are afraid that Nehemiah wants to take over the city. Nehemiah must sneak out at night to look at the damaged walls. He's afraid the leaders will try to stop him from building. Nehemiah also knows that God has called him to do this work for God's people. Nehemiah then visits the Jewish leaders in Jerusalem. He wants the Jewish people to help him with the repairs. They agree. People from all over the nation come to Jerusalem to help Nehemiah. There are many challenges for Nehemiah and the Jewish people as they rebuild the walls around their city. They do not give up. The city leaders are not happy to see the Jewish people working together. They believe that the people will try to take over the city. The leaders gather an army to try and stop them. Nehemiah and the builders pray to God for protection. The builders take turns standing guard around the wall all day and night to protect those who are working. The city leaders are angry when they see that the builders are guarding the wall. Their plan to attack them will not work. As the wall continues to grow taller, the builders are having a hard time feeding their families. They tell Nehemiah about their worries. Nehemiah speaks with the Jewish leaders and asks them to help the builders so that they can feed their families. Rebuilding the wall is important to them, so the Jewish leaders agree to help the builders. Nehemiah also continues to care for the builders. Seeing that the walls around the city are almost complete, the leaders try one more time to stop Nehemiah. They invite him to a meeting. Nehemiah knows that rebuilding the walls is God's plan. Nothing is going to stop him from completing this task. He does not meet with the leaders. He knows that it is a trick to keep him from finishing the wall. Finally, the walls are complete and the gates are fixed. Nehemiah and the Jewish people gather in Jerusalem. They celebrate that their city is whole again. This celebration goes on for 7 days. The Jewish people who have been living outside of Jerusalem return to the city to see the new wall. Nehemiah takes the time to pray. He thanks God for being with him and the builders as they work. He also thanks God for giving him such a special job to do. The end. All right, Olympians, who do you think our guest reader was for today? That's right, it was me. So we heard in our story about Nehemiah, who was called to go rebuild the walls around Jerusalem. He prayed to God and was determined to build those walls, even when there were obstacles, even when there were people who were telling him not to build the walls or sending armies to go destroy the people at the wall. But they persevered, which is another good word, and they were determined. He had a goal in his mind, and he wanted to complete it because God called him to do that. And so his determination and his courage, and I'm sure the friendships that he made with the people who helped build the wall, all helped him reach that goal of rebuilding the walls around Jerusalem. Okay, so what goals do you have for yourself? What are you determined to do today? What are you determined to do this week? And what might you be determined to do in the future? Determination is a big part of who we are as people of faith. There are often obstacles that prevent us from living our lives as faithful people, but we can overcome those through our love of God and our determination to be in relationship with God and with the faith community. And so determination is a very important value of the Christian faith. That is all our time today. Don't forget to do all of your activities, and we will see you tomorrow for our final day of VBS. I can't believe it's almost over.